What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of my favorite strategies that you can use to win more fights, as well as the best ways to practice your overall fighting skill in Fortnite, so you can start winning more fights and performing better overall in game. If you guys going to enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like on it and consider subscribing if you enjoy this video and want to see more content just like this in the future. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. Anyway though, the first big topic I want to discuss in today's video is approaching fights. That's going to be one of the most difficult aspects for fighting for a lot of you guys. Now the biggest thing I can tell you all when it comes to approaching fights is to get the upper hand early in the fight. One common way to do this is to simply be the first player to get an AI beam off, but for obvious reasons that's not always going to be the case, since your opponent might simply see you first, or you might get beamed by someone else, you know? There's a ton of things that can happen. You're not always going to be the first one to get damage. The best thing you can do early in your fights, either way, is to find a way to turn the aggression of the fight in your favor. Typically, when I'm approaching a fight in game, I try to get pre-fight damage off through some AI shots. But if I can't do that or my opponent gets shots off first, then I'll take a bit of time to box up and heal up, and then I'll instantly try to find an angle to get damage on my opponent, or simply push up for height. Overall though, when it comes to approaching fights, in the beginning of the fight, prioritize getting the momentum into your favor nice and early. You can try and get pre-fight damage or simply get a shot off or cramp to height. Either way, getting momentum into your favor allows you to control the fight and gives you way more opportunities to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes later on. But now that we've discussed the beginning of fights, I'm going to get into some general tips that you can use mid-fight to perform better and hopefully clean it up pretty quickly. My first tip for this section is an absolute huge one, and that's to practice taking zero damage in fights. Now a lot of us when fighting tend to get a bit erratic and make crazy plays as opposed to going for smart and careful plays like pros do, and oftentimes that can result in a quick trip back to the lobby. One of the best ways to handle this is to go into every single fight with the goal of taking zero damage. This is going to help you play more slowly, making you play intelligent plays, and ultimately, even if you don't take literally zero damage in the fight, the mentality is going to help you take as little damage as possible and result in you playing much better overall. You can also practice this mentality in realistic 1v1s. Basically, spending the whole fight trying to take zero overall damage. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to do, especially if you're against a pretty good player, but once again, the goal is to start playing more intelligent and careful, and ultimately, even if you do take some damage, you'll still be playing more intelligent, and chances are it's a lot less damage than you'd be taking without the strategy. The next tip I actually have for your fights is to play to your loadout. Now what I mean by this is to utilize your weapons for their best uses, especially when it comes to shotguns. For example, if you're playing with the charge, since it's a bit long range and it takes time to shoot, your best playstyle is going to be slightly further away and it's going to involve a lot of piece control. And if you're using attack, you're going to want to go for more direct, fast-paced and sort of hands-on fighting style, and jumping into people's boxes once they're low is going to be a much more viable strategy than it would be with other shotguns. And as a side note, with a tactical shotgun, you can obviously shoot walls and usually one-tap a 75 HP wall with the high rarities, so that's something to keep in mind. With the new lever shotgun, you're going to want to play fast, moving around, and going for a variety of angles, at least from what I've experienced with it so far. If you don't know already, the lever shotgun is almost like a middle ground shotgun, between the pump and heavy shotgun. It sort of has like a middle ground fire rate, and it honestly has pretty good damage. Personally, I've liked it so far, but let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're an absolute psychopath moron who carries the Dragon Breath shotgun, you're pretty much going to have to go into your opponent's face and go for a big shot, probably finishing it off with some AR or SMG spray to clean up the kill. But overall, playing specifically to the playstyle your loadout incentivizes is going to be a really important thing. This is something pros do really well, which I don't really see many normal players doing. Anyway guys, the last specific tip I want to give for fighting is that over-aggression can sometimes be a good strategy. Now, I'm not going to be the guy who's just going to sit here and tell you to jump into players' boxes, since that's obviously an easy way to get sent back to the lobby. But I will say at times, it's good to constantly be on your opponent, and even sometimes jump on them if you can utilize the element of surprise. Fighting in Fortnite is often a mental game where you and your opponent are constantly trying to trick one another, especially if it's two good players against one another. So if you're against a good player who you just can't destroy by making mechanical plays, then try to play very aggressive. Go for trick plays or even try to catch them off guard by simply jumping on them. Just remember though, it's only smart to straight jump on them if you have a clear advantage, such as like more HP, them being distracted or confused, and things of that nature. Basically, my point here is that you don't have to play passive 24/7 in fights. Lastly, I want to discuss the importance of aim training. Aim is honestly one of the main factors separating pro level players from the rest of us. So that's why I strongly recommend that you guys train your aim pretty much whenever you get online, whether you're on PC and have access to Kovacs, or you want to use a creative map like Scavic's Aim Trainer. One of the most important things you guys can do consistently is train your aim, and this is going to help you dramatically in a fairly short amount of time, to be honest. Well, with all that said, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully this video helps you out to improve at fighting and become more consistent in the game. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it and as well. Well, with all that said, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully this video helps you improve at fighting and become more consistent in game. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it as well as subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content just like this in the future. Anyway though, thank you all for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.